Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlights, our morning get-together live here on Facebook. It is Friday, October 6th, and it's a pleasure to get together with you and to bring to you whatever headlines I was able to find in local, state, and national sources. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's new in your worlds as far as questions and ideas and suggestions you may have about how to best enjoy ourselves here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. I am so happy this week is over. It was a great week, and I'm looking forward to all kinds of fun activities. I have friends in town, and friends are coming back to town, so it is a good time to be here in Puerto Vallarta. I can almost feel, and it's a little bit of a stretch, but I can almost feel the weather getting slightly itsy-bitsy cooler, just a little bit. But we know that the big changes will happen later on this month. But we're almost done with the heat and the humidity, just a few more weeks, and we should be back to the fall and winter weather we so much love. So I hope everybody's having a great day today. I have some news, some local interesting news to share, and I have a big show and tell. Yesterday, I was invited to the opening of a brand new restaurant located in Emiliano Zapata, right next to Bonito Kitchen. And I have a personal history with that building, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of my personal history with the building as well. Maybe you'll find it interesting, but we'll have to see. So let's get started, and I'm going to get started as always with our news. And here we go. The first thing that we have, of course, has to do with SEAPAL announcing street closures to take place during this weekend in two spots in the city. The first one is in the Pitillal downtown area, where vehicular traffic along Abasolo Street between Cinco de Mayo and Independencia will be closed between today and Monday. So driving through downtown Pitillal might be a little bit interesting this weekend. Maybe you want to walk instead. In addition, the stretch along Morelos Street at the intersection with Agustin Rodriguez in El Centro, which is what we're looking at in this image, will be limited to one lane through today. So if you're driving into town and you are in a rush, you may want to consider the libramiento. Otherwise, there might be some slow-moving traffic in this particular part of town. And in Colonia La Primavera, Mayor Michel announced a new stretch of Playa Grande Avenue between Cedro and Sauces streets that has just been repaved with hydraulic concrete. It looks pretty, but according to the map, it was only 2 blocks. And this is not the first time that the mayor makes a big hullabaloo of about repaving, street portions that are only 2 or 3 blocks long. I suppose this is better than nothing, but it would be nice to know, I suppose, of projects that have more continuity, or to know whether more blocks in this particular road are going to be repaved as well. Prior to this project, there was no road. There was no paved road at all. It was just a dirt road. So this is a major improvement for that part of town. And of course, there's this kind of controversial bit of news on the Malecón, not far from the Rosita Hotel. A structure that was being used by the La Rosita Fishing Co-op as a cold room has been demolished. And this is part, apparently, of a bitter feud that has been going on between the co-op and another co-op for several generations. We don't know the details, but everything seems to indicate that the other co-op, founded by the local Guereña family many years ago, is in good standing with the federal government as far as having all the necessary permits in place. We don't know who prompted the demolition or what will happen after it is completed, but we are definitely going to keep an eye on this one. No, not time for that yet. Let us take a quick look at the weather just to see what's going on out there. Snarky Weatherman says, rain stopping in 2 minutes. Get down on your knees and thank me. Correction, there's no rain happening right now, at least not outside of my window. It is 29 degrees right now. Humidity is at 73%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 85. Our weather forecast for today indicates that we're going to have rain in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 69%, a high of 33, and a low of 26. Then tomorrow, we will have scattered thunderstorms throughout the day with a chance of rain of 64%, a high of 32, and a low of 26. I hope first Saturday at the Museo doesn't get rained out, because I'm planning on attending tomorrow with some friends. And then on Sunday, we will enjoy overcast skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 86%, a high of 32, and a low of 26. So by the numbers, everything seems to indicate that we will have a wet weekend. We shall see how much of this actually happens. Now, moving right along, I have one more news item before we get into the show and tell that I promised. As part of Disney's 100th anniversary celebration, the studio is bringing back a handful of classic animated full-length features to local big screens starting yesterday. This week, you will be able to enjoy Snow White and Toy Story, while the following week, the films of choice will be Cinderella and Moana. And the selections continue on a weekly basis through the rest of the month. Two things to keep in mind, however. The screenings are taking place at the large Cinépolis multiplex near Pitillal, not at the VIP theaters at La Isla. And secondly, everything seems to indicate that they are only going to be screened in Spanish. So here's a great chance for you to brush up on your Spanish chops. Yay. I love a good Disney flick, and I love them on a big screen because the animation has evolved so much through years. And there are some great films that are going to be screened later on, including Coco, of course, approaching Day of the Dead. It makes perfect sense. And now I want to tell you about this opening invite that I received to this restaurant called Raíces, which means roots. If you have driven into Puerto Vallarta through the Libramiento, you can recognize this tree. It's emblematic. It's been there forever. And you can see the facade of Bonito Kitchen right next door. So now that I've told you where this takes place, I want to give you a little bit of personal background on these structures. For starters, if you've been to Bonito Kitchen, you may not be aware of the fact that both structures were once part of a single home. And and I know that because that entire building used to be an art gallery called The Genius of Paco. Not me, not this Paco, but a different Paco. Actually, art collectors and philanthropists Frank and Gail Ruding, who live in town, used to have an art gallery where they used to display their private collection, but also invited other artists to show their work. Presently, most of or a part of Frank Ruding's private art collection of local artists can be enjoyed at the Arte Vallarta Museo. But back then, some 14, 15 years ago, Frank Ruding had his art gallery in this old casa, and it was a funky place because it was a private home. It was never really converted into a gallery or our idea of a modern gallery. It was just the building. And how am I related to this? Well, at the time I was busy in my personal time. This is way before crochet, or well, I had crocheted since my 20s, but I had taken a long crochet break. But at this time, some 12 years ago, I was deeply invested in making cardboard furniture and combining paper mache and decoupage techniques with cardboard to create furniture, functional furniture. I mean, this is just a tray. This is actually, at the time, I used to collect cardboard trays from Costco, and I simply cover them with paper mache and decoupage motifs. Eventually, I learned French technique by some artists who call themselves the cartonistes, or artists that used cardboard and implemented carpentry structures. As you can see here, I was making a funny shaped bookshelf. This actually happened when, at the time, I had purchased a large television screen, and the box that the television came in seemed perfect for me to convert the cardboard into a piece of furniture. This particular bookshelf I still have at home here. But the connection with the gallery is that the gallery offered local artists the opportunity to teach. So I used to teach cardboard furniture and paper mache and decoupage at the gallery. This is our dear friend. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm having a pothead blank, and she's gonna shoot me because she watches Coffee and Headlines. Anyhow, she used to work with the SPCA. She used to work for Casa Cúpula, and this is part of what the restaurant. Tina, thank you, Logan. Thank you. This is Tina Kunkel, who first was a manager at Casa Cúpula. Then she went to work managing the SPCA, and I don't know what she's doing with her personal time. But at the time, I know, Logan, I'm getting old. It's a pothead moment. Anyhow, Tina was one of my many students where in my class, which used to take place here, and I had not walked into the building for over a decade. So I was curious to see what was going on there for a couple of reasons. First of all, the opening event was organized by my dear friend Rocio Martinez, and who does this kind of events, and she is a longtime collaborator of mine. So we walked. I went with my friend Gina from Whiskey Kitchen. She seemed like the perfect date and was the perfect date. And the first thing you notice when you walk into the space is that they've honored the raíces, or the roots, of the big tree that is standing right outside of the restaurant with this amazing display, which is, you walk right into it. And I don't know if it's because it's brand new and it's shiny or glossy, but it seemed almost scary to step on it. But this is how you enter the space. The room where I was showing you myself teaching cardboard furniture is this room. This is one of three seating areas within the restaurant. As you can see, it is beautifully appointed. And one of the first things that really touched me when I walked into the space is how meticulously the new project has preserved the integrity of the original structure. I mean, they added some sunlights here. This was not there before that I can remember. But all the arches, all the brick details from the original home have been preserved. So this is the front dining area, which resembles a lot the front dining area at Bonito Kitchen. And then between the front and the back area, oh, and this area is not air conditioned yet, but it will be air conditioned sometime in the future. Then you walk into this middle room, which is smaller, but this room is now fully air conditioned in case you're getting a little warm and you want to sit in a comfortable place. The room was difficult to photograph because it was tiny, but it has these beautiful, very basic decorative details on the wall. All the ironwork on the doors and windows was preserved. I remember being in this room teaching or watching other teachers do their thing. So again, for me, this was a big memory mover in the best possible way. And then there is the kitchen area, which is next to the room I just showed you. If it looks hazy, it's because everything that gets cooked in this restaurant, the restaurant is international cuisine, and everything gets cooked with wood. That is a trademark of the cuisine. So the whole restaurant had this beautiful aroma of wood burning, and we quickly confirmed that that was the case. So the stove is not for cooking the food. The stove is for keeping the wood burning so that it can then be used to cook the food. The food, oh, let me clear my throat very quickly. So who's behind the food? The chef used to be a chef at Hacienda San Angel for many years. Then he went on to be a chef at Casa de Mita near Punta Mita. So his experience is in that kind of hospitality. This is a new adventure for them to move into a restaurant open to the public type hospitality. And last but not least, there was this sitting area in the back, which they put a canopy on top of just for the opening in case it rained. So that was essentially the walking tour experience of the restaurant. Now, I'm sure you have questions about the type of food and price range and so forth and so on. I can tell you this much. The restaurant is being put together by two Mexico City-based Argentinian investors, and it is run locally by another Argentinian man who 6 months ago was still living in Argentina with his wife. He moved to Puerto Vallarta to become the leader of this project. He and his wife were super, super sweet to talk to. And unfortunately, well, we got to sample some of the food and some of the beverages, and it was absolutely wonderful. Unfortunately, there were no menus ready for the opening, which is today. Today, the restaurant is open to the public. So I couldn't tell you the price range, and I couldn't tell you the actual dishes that will be served at the restaurant, but I can tell you that it will be international cuisine. And even though it's an Argentinian project, I don't see this, and I don't think they envision this as an Argentinian restaurant, more a restaurant that implements some Argentinian cooking techniques to offer a broad variety of food. And so it was great to be there. It was great to enter a building that I was very familiar with. So just as an aside, if you're looking at the big patio area, which I'm showing you here, and you imagine this area combined with the patio area that is behind Bonito Kitchen, you can imagine how at some point The backyard of this building was absolutely beautiful. It is unfortunate that the owners of the property fractioned it, but it is what it is. So that is my brief show and tell of this new restaurant called Raíces. I'm looking forward to going back, and I'm going to tell you why. Um, First of all, because I love food, and I know you do too. And secondly, because I'm happy to announce that the owners of the restaurant have commissioned Coffee and Headlines to do a walk around for the building. And this is their one of these. As you remember, some time ago, some months ago, we announced the possibility for businesses, restaurants, and shops and art galleries and whatnot to be able to commission a walk around of their property in which I would go and take a video and shoot photos and interview and do whatever it takes to promote the place. And this has been announced and been available in through the Coffee and Headlines website. I haven't really promoted it as much, but when my friend Rocio told me about this opening and she asked me, so what are the options that you have when you want to promote something? And I told her, well, the people that own the restaurant are able to sponsor a video and photo walk around of the business for 100 US. And that's what they did. So I will be going back sometime in the near future to sample the food and to offer you more of a complete story of the place. In the meantime, if you get there before I do, the place is open for business as of today. And if you have a nice report to share, I would love to hear about it. And I'm sure many of you would as well. And that is Coffee and Headlines for today. Let us take a look at your comments to see what you guys are up to this morning. I see good mornings and good afternoons, which makes me very, very happy. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Raymond! How nice to see you. Oh my goodness. And it's great that you're going to be in town. Hopefully we will cross paths. Let's see what else. Mary Donovan is arriving in a week. Good for you. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Michael asks, weather seems to be breaking. And I don't know if that's a question or a statement. I think the weather is starting to break. Like, for example, my alarm clock in my bedroom has a temperature indicator, and now mornings it is 1 degree Celsius lower than it was just a couple of weeks ago. So small steps in the right direction make me happy. Boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom. Sherry says that tray is really cool. Oh, thank you. You know, I used to love doing paper mache projects, but I stopped doing it because it's a messy affair, and you need to have a dedicated space in your home to do this, and it's just got messy after a while. But I still have a bunch of paper mache projects around the house from that period. Let's see what else. You've got me all nostalgic to a Vallarta long gone by reminiscing about the genius of Paco Gallery. Well, you know, we are a changing city. I understand that Condé Nast Traveler just announced that Puerto Vallarta is the 4th best small city in the world, which is interesting and amusing. I mean, Puerto Vallarta used to be awarded for its hotels. Now it's awarded as a city, as the 4th best small or medium-sized city in the world. I forget what it was. Let's see. Parim, pam, pum, pam, pam. Absolutely love the functional furniture, says Albert. You know, if you Google cartoniste and it spells like this, let me put it on the screen. Can I make this bigger easily? There it is. If you Google this word, you will find that there are a number of artists making really groovy bedboards and furniture and chairs and bookshelves and stuff like that. And it is all about using joinery techniques that are commonly used in wood wood furniture in carpentry, and it was a fun period of my life, most definitely. Uh, oh, a pun from Raymond. That furniture is a great example of thinking outside the box. It's good to have you back, Raymond. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see. There's a question. Logan, it's time for your return as the Coffee and Headlines roving reporter. I don't pressure my muffin, but he knows he is missed and wanted in that capacity. Ba-dum-bum-bum. I love the cardboard furniture idea. I was just about ready to throw out some big boxes. Says Rob. For me, big boxes are temptation because I never want them to go to waste. And I see large pieces of cardboard and I start imagining that I'm making things, but not just yet. Den and Kathy, you'll be pleased to know that I walked right past your building yesterday, and your landlady was very, very busy cleaning your apartment, making it ready for your return. Maestro García Cano, qué gusto verlo por acá. No sabe cómo he tenido curiosidad de mandarle un mensajito y platicar con usted. I'm sorry for the Spanish break. This is a dear friend of mine who plays with the other Raíces. Remember when we interviewed the folkloric Mexican group Raíces? Well, he is part of that group, and it's great to see you here. Te mando un abrazote también. Let's see what else we have. I'm very excited about all of the fun stuff opening up on the east side. Oh gosh, don't call it that, Logan. You're giving real estate agents some ideas. On the east side of Emiliano Zapata this upcoming season, popular daytime eatery Salud has also opened in one of the available stalls at the Mercado Emiliano Zapata. Yes, I heard that, which I think is the perfect location for them. The whole story about that is that the previous owners have sold Raíces and have moved elsewhere or will be moving elsewhere. So Raíces is now under new management. I understand it's people that were previously associated with the restaurant and the previous owners. So we wish them well in this new location. Let's see what else we have. Oh, envious in the best possible way. Buenos dias from Oasis del Holly on Holly Beach here in Puerto Vallarta. Mango smoothies for everyone. It's been a while since I've been there, and I am due. Let's see what else we have. Mike Foreman, a first-time live viewer. Mike, it is a pleasure to see you among us. Welcome to the live experience. If you have any questions that you want to share with us, this is the place and the time to do it. Not Raíces, Salud. If I said Raíces, I made a mistake since we're talking about both restaurants. Yes, Salud has moved to near the Emiliano Zapata Market, and Raíces just opened next to I am all over the place with names today. Next to Bonito Kitchen. There you have it. So many restaurants in this town. How can we keep them apart from each other? Well, I know how this can happen through good service, through good experiences, through good memories, and it'll be interesting how some of the new businesses that are opening all over the city will fare this season. We have fingers crossed and best intentions for everyone out there. With that said, I think it's time to wrap up today. Tomorrow is Mexican Wine Day. Tomorrow is a day in which Mexico commemorates our own wine. So I'm going to be putting together a little quick and dirty on the history of wine in Mexico for you to enjoy. And we'll see what other adventures we can get into in the rest of today. Between now and then, I hope you will have an amazing day. I hope you will stay dry if it rains. And I hope you'll stay kind and you'll stay in touch. I will see you again tomorrow or hopefully sometime soon. Take care.